All right, let's talk about something we've all been through. You're prepping for a big, high-level interview, and you're drowning in all this polished corporate speak from their website, trying to figure out what the job is actually like. But what if you could just skip the guessing game? What if you could reverse engineer the truth before you even set foot in the door?
You know this one, right? You've seen this phrase 1,000 times. It's the perfect piece of corporate jargon. It sounds so dynamic, so exciting, but it tells you literally nothing about what you'll be doing day to day. It's designed to sound good, but you gotta ask, what is it really hiding?
And that's the big question, isn't it? Does wearing many hats mean you'll have all this great autonomy and get to learn a ton of new skills? Or does it mean you'll be doing the work of 3 people for the salary of 1 with 0 direction? See, when you're gunning for a serious role, leaving that to chance is a huge gamble you just can't afford to take.
So, this leads us right into what I call the corporate jargon trap. If you're an experienced professional, you know your time is your most valuable asset. Wasting weeks on a crazy long interview process just to find out a job is a terrible fit, it's a massive, massive drain. And honestly, traditional prep methods practically guarantee you'll walk right into that trap.
So where do we get the real story? Well, the answer is kinda cynical, but absolutely brilliant. You go to the people who have 0 reason to spend things anymore, the former employees. They are the ones who are going to give you the unvarnished, unfiltered truth about what it's really like.
Okay, this is where we get super strategic. We're not just doom scrolling through complaints here. We're treating those negative employee reviews like an advanced cheat sheet. For a smart, savvy candidate, these aren't just red flags to run away from. They are a roadmap to the exact questions you need to be asking.
And listen, we're not talking about just any reviews. We are going for the absolute goldmine. Those brutally honest, super detailed exit reviews from people who are basically screaming, "I wish I'd never taken this job." This isn't just angry venting. This is high-grade, raw intelligence for your mission.
So, how do we actually turn all this raw intel into a winning strategy? Well, it's a really straightforward 3-step method. And trust me, it's going to save you an incredible amount of time and energy.
It's really this simple. First, you become a detective. You hunt down and isolate those really emotional, detailed, bitter reviews. Second, you start decoding. You look for patterns and translate that corporate jargon into reality. And third, you take that intel and you forge it into laser-focused, insightful questions for your interview.
Let's see exactly how this works. On the left, you've got the polished language from the job post. And on the right, that's the probable reality, pulled straight from those exit reviews. We move fast and wear many hats becomes, it's chaotic, we're understaffed, and nobody knows who does what. A high-pressure environment often translates to toxic management and constant emergencies. And my favorite, looking for a self-starter? Yeah, that usually means there is no training, you are completely on your own. Good luck! You see, it's like having a secret decoder ring.
Now, here's a really crucial point. The goal here isn't to find some perfect, flawless company. Spoiler alert, it doesn't exist. The real goal is to figure out the company's actual day-to-day problems, and then decide if those are the problems that you are uniquely skilled at and, more importantly, willing to solve, right? Maybe you thrive on creating order from chaos. In that case, chaotic and understaffed might actually be a huge opportunity for you. So let's talk about the real payoff here, because this whole strategy at its core is about one thing: efficiency. For busy, high-level professionals, your time is everything. This method isn't just about finding a better job, it's about not wasting weeks or even months of your life chasing the wrong one. And this quote just perfectly illustrates the power of this whole approach. This is from someone who actually used this technique. They saw a recurring pattern in the reviews, the same director's name coming up over and over again for all the wrong reasons. That one tiny piece of intel let them sidestep a role that looked absolutely perfect on paper, but was almost certainly a nightmare waiting to happen. I mean, just think about that for a second. An hour or 2 of this kind of focused research can save you dozens of hours in pointless interviews, not to mention potentially years of career misery. It is the single highest return on investment you can get during your job search, period. What this does is it completely changes the entire dynamic of the interview. You're no longer just this passive candidate sitting there hoping you give the right answers. No, you become an active investigator, using your time with the hiring manager to actually test the theories you built from your research. So here's what that actually sounds like. Instead of a soft question like, "So, what's the company culture like?"
You can now ask something sharp, like, I've seen some feedback suggesting the team has faced challenges with shifting priorities in the past. Can you tell me how role clarity and team structure are being handled under the current director? You see the difference? You're turning a vague red flag into a specific, powerful, and frankly, very impressive question.
This entire method puts the power back in your hands. It lets you cut through all the corporate fluff and have the conversations that actually matter. It's about taking control. So as you get ready for your next big move, the only real question left is, what truth are you going to go uncover?